In the last video we discussed how can we create a simple get method that takes a request at any given endpoint. For our case it was /greet, and how can we return back a simple string, right? So I want to take it a little further, and instead of returning a string, I want to return an object, right? Because that's what we're going to do in a practical scenario. But before that, let's also look at another way of serving a get request, and that's from a different annotation called request mapping. So request mapping annotation is a more generic annotation in which comprises of all the requests, and here you have to define what kind of request you have, right? So first you say I want to serve my request as a at this endpoint, and my request is going to be a get type. So you say request method dot get, and then obviously we need to define we need to write the method that's going to serve this request. Let's name it greeting, and again we're going to just return back new string, right? So this is doing exactly same thing. It's a more generic. If it's a post method, then we'll choose request method dot post. Okay, so let's load. I have a postman running. Let's look at before that let's run this application, and we'll start the Tomcat again, and then we're going to hit this new endpoint and see if it's going to serve us the same return us the same string. Alright, it came up. So let's go to HTTP localhost, and it's called, I think, greeting. Send. Alright, so I came back. That's good. And let's make sure the existing endpoint is working fine. Hello world is still coming back. So basically there are two ways you can create a get request. Alright, so I just wanted to get this out of the way. So now let's stick with the get mapping, because that's I guess very concise implementation. But now I think the focus on this exercise is to utilize a object that we can send back as a response to the request instead of sending a string, right? So let's create a bean. So we'll do new Java class, then let's create a name, bean name videos, and we'll create a different getters and setter inside that, and then we'll return this entire videos object back with the response, right? So what a video can have, let's say we have a title of the video which is going to be a string, right? And similarly we can have a description in the video, right? So let's keep just these two fields for now. I'll define and then I'll utilize IntelliJ. I'll do generate, and I'll say give me getters and setters for these two fields. Select both of them, and then OK, and we have a getters and setter now. Similarly, I'll say now give me a constructor. Yeah, I'll need a private a default no arc constructor, and I think that should be it now, right? Let's go back to our controller, and then instead of inside the controller here, we'll try to utilize that object, right? Videos, new videos, right? And then we'll do videos dot set title, and we'll say sample title. Then we'll do videos dot set description, a simple description, right? And then we want to return this videos object back, right? So since we want to return an object now, we'll change this to video to an object called videos, and then we'll do return videos, the actual object, right? And then we'll get rid of this stuff. Okay, let's rerun our application. Stop and rerun. Again, Tomcat is going to serve this new updated jar. Alright, it's coming back up. Then we go to Postman again, and we'll do greet, and this is our endpoint. Press send. We see our entire video object came back up as a JSON, and so Spring Boot is actually serializing it into JSON for us. So that's pretty cool, right? Now we can return an entire bean for in the response, right? And now one small thing I want to just show you. For example, I don't want to see a description in the response, right? So what can I do for that? So if is there any particular property that I don't want to send back, I can just say JSON ignore, right? And let's rerun the application. Stop and rerun. Okay, and now if everything went well, I should not see description in the response. Okay, the Tomcat is serving updated jar now. We'll go back and he'll hit send again. So you can see description went away, we just have a title. So that's pretty simple, right? We just created a bean with two properties in it, a no-arg constructor and getters and setters for the private properties, and then we just updated our get mapping. That's it for this video. Stay tuned for more videos like this. Thank you.